Teachers, let's talk about feedback. Feedback can either be positive or negative. Things that the student have done well in class and their areas for improvement. And here's the thing. Most of the time, many ESL teachers just give generic feedback to the point that the students aren't really able to fully grasp what they did right and what they could do better. And with this video, we're going to be talking about the most common mistakes and errors of our Chinese ESL students so that when you give them feedback, it would be specific enough for them to actually remember what they did right and what they could do better. If you want to be a better teacher, please watch this video. And before we get going, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Teacha Karen, for more online teaching tips and work from home tips. And to those of you who would like to be an Acadsoc tutor like me, please don't forget to apply using the link on the description box. I also have tons of videos to help you out. Don't forget to check out the new Acadsoc teachers playlist, okay? That'll guide you and show you everything you need to know to be an Acadsoc teacher. So let's get started, teachers. Most common error number 1, gender pronoun confusion. In the Chinese language, they don't have a she and a he. They only have ta, which basically pertains to both genders. Now, most of the time, your students would interchange he and she, right? Let's say they're talking about a celebrity, Justin Bieber. She is so beautiful. She is so talented. But then again, we're pertaining to a man, Justin Bieber, right? So when you are giving feedback about gender confusion, you could also present to them that in their language it's just ta. But in the English language, we have a girl and a boy. I usually show a doll. I show Diego here as well as my girl doll to present the idea of she and he. Common mistake number 2, singular and plural confusion. In the Chinese language, they don't have plural form for their words, right? So there may be instances when the student would say there are many cats, there are 3 dog. But then again, you have to make it clear to them that if it's just one, it's without an S. And if it's more than 1, 2 or more, it would be with an S. Cats versus cat. Now, speaking of non-count nouns, that's going to be a totally different topic. You could also introduce the idea of non-count nouns to maybe intermediate level or someone who has more understanding of the English language. But really for beginners, they won't be able to fully understand non-count nouns yet. But once again, you have to make it clear to them the idea of with S and without S for starters. Common mistake number 3, verb tenses. And I know verb tenses are, totally challenging even for us ESL teachers, but let's just focus on the simple verb tenses, just like the past tense and the continuous tense. Past tense as in walked versus walked. Continuous tense, which is walking versus walk, right? Continuous tense would be something that is ongoing. And most of the time, your students would say it this way, I am walk to school versus I am walking to school. I am eat or I eat versus I am eating. Or let's say when it comes to past tense, some of your students would say I eat yesterday versus I ate yesterday. So teachers, you have to point out to the students that in the English language, we have verb tenses. Again, present the idea simply the first time. Just let them know that if it happened in the past, you just have to add an ed to the verb itself. Don't complicate things by, introducing verbs that changes in form, just like buy versus bought. Don't complicate things first. What's important is they have an idea and knowledge that if it happened in the past, the verb form changes. If it's happening right now, the verb form changes. We cannot say eat we can't say the verb eat if it's happening or ongoing right now. We have to use the word eating. So just give them the idea that verb tenses exist to let you know when the action is happening. That's what's important to do at first. Common error number 4, wrong pronunciation. So, teachers, there are different things that Chinese students often get wrong. Let's first talk about adding an additional sound to a word. Let's say the word internet, they add a Y sound and turn it into internate. The word banana, Instead of just saying banana, they're going to add a r sound in the end. Banana, banana. Or the word colleague, colleaguer, colleaguer. You see, it's a common error when Chinese students add one more sound either in the middle or at the end of the word. The next error would be interchanging the V and the W sound, just like violet, 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 violet. Invention, invention. Most of the time, you're going to notice that they are interchanging those sounds. Another two sounds that they often interchange would be the R and the L sound, as in red, lead. Hospital. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. Hospital. They say it as hospital, 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 hospital. You see, they interchange the L sound as well as the R sound. One more common challenge in terms of pronunciation would be the TH sound. Let's say the. They use the L sound instead of the. They say l. This, they say it as lis. Now, whenever you're teaching pronunciation, teachers, it's important that you present to them the two sounds. The difference, let's say, between the V sound and the W sound. Move your face closer to the screen and show them how to produce the sounds. Let's say V, V, V. You have to bite your lower lip, V, V, versus W, W, W. You're going to look funny. Expect to look funny, teachers, because you are demonstrating the correct mouth, jaw, and tongue movements to the student. Always make sure that you move closer to the camera so that their attention will focus more on the movement of your face. Common error number 5. Not pronouncing the last letter or the last syllable. This is common, let's say, for words with a suffix ed. Let's say credited, credited. They say it as credit. Or educated. I'm educate instead of I'm educated. The word, let's say, card. Instead of saying the word card, they might eliminate the sound d, card. They'd say car. It's a car. But what they're really saying is it's a card. Now, whenever you're pointing out this error, it's important that you write down the word first and underline that sound that they are missing and try to enunciate it as in card, card, or educated, tid, tid. You demonstrate how the missing sound really sounds like so that they'd remember that they have to enunciate it. Common error number 6, wrong word stress. Word stress is all about the emphasis, the certain loudness of a particular syllable in a word. And the thing with word stress is, if you get it wrong, it changes or it could change the meaning of the word. Just like the word research versus research. When you say it as research, the word stress is on the first syllable. That's a noun. This is my research. This is my research paper, or it could be an adjective as well. Now, if you say it as research, 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 where the word stress is on the second syllable, it's a verb. Oh, I have to research on this. I have to research on this. Oh, can you research on the purpose of this formula? Research. Next one would be words like dessert. Dessert. Sometimes they would say it as desert. Desert, when in fact it should be dessert. The word stress should be on the second syllable. Dessert. You see, you have to teach this in such a way that when you're writing the word with the word stress should be in uppercase form. That is just to give emphasis that among all the syllables on the words, this is the syllable that you have to give emphasis on and say a little bit louder than the rest. It's truly an effective way to teach word stress when you put it on uppercase letters. And finally, intonation. It's just something like this, teachers. Make it clear to them that when the question is answerable by yes or no, you have to use a rising intonation for the question. Typically questions that start with a do or is. Is there anyone here? Yes. Do you like bread? No. And you have to use a falling intonation for W or how questions. W question like, where are you? You don't say, where are you? Where are you? What do you want? You don't say, what do you want? You also use a rising intonation when you are conveying surprise or when you are screaming, when there's an exclamation point. Hey, You don't say hey. And of course, you use a falling intonation when you are just simply saying declarative sentences or narrating a story. So, teachers, again, it's important for us to make it clear to them that the intonation could also help change the meaning. It could convey emotions. It could convey whether or not you're asking a question or not, or whether or not you'd be saying something else or something more or not. So, just simply make it clear to them. You have the teachers, the most common errors of our Chinese students. Once again, the goal of this video is to help you really point out specifically what the errors are and for you to understand why these errors are recurring. Because if we, the teachers, don't understand where these errors are coming from, how are we going to be able to make the student understand that indeed this is an error and that the English language is totally different from the Chinese language? So once again, teachers, for you to be able to effectively teach something, you must know and master everything that you're going to teach. You must know and understand the reason behind these errors. So I do hope that you've learned something from this video. Please give this a thumbs up if you like this content. And of course, subscribe to my channel, Teacha Karen. Comment below if you have any questions, video requests, or anything like that. And click the bell icon to get notified for new video uploads. Be a blessing to the people around you, teachers. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.